The Kolkata Knight Riders came into 2025 as IPL champions. They had Shreyas here, who is not only one of the finest Indian batsmen, but also one of the most promising leaders. Then they had Gambhir, who was back in the dugout, and his presence in KKR has always linked them to success. Yet this year, both are gone, and KKR find themselves the fourth team to be knocked out of IPL 2025. So what went wrong? How did this team of champions wind up completely off pace to be in the playoff race? Well, the Kolkata Knight Riders, after 13 games, have won just 5, lost 6, and have been unlucky with 2 no results, but at the same time, losing 6 out of 11 completed games is really disappointing. Yet for whatever reason, it's not too surprising. I mean, that's largely because of who they released, and first and foremost on this is Shreyas Iyer. Now, KKR have had a history of captains who have not performed as well with the bat. Ian Morgan was a prime example of that. He was struggling throughout the entire 2021 series, yet he led them to the finals. Similarly, Shreyas Iyer was not their most important batsman last season, and yet he was the winning captain. KKR thought they could let him go, and there was some disputes over there. Now he finds himself at Punjab. He's leading them to just their second playoff appearance ever. They're in the top 2 right now, and he's already scored 435 runs. He's averaging almost 50, and a strike rate of 175 means he's miles above any batsman in KKR this season. And then you have Phil Salt, who's gone to RCB, and he's brought his impact there too. Last season, he was setting the power play on fire for KKR alongside Narayan, and this year he's doing the same with RCB. He's striking at almost 170, and he's won matches for them. Lastly, you have Mitchell Starc. If there's any player in cricket history you'd consider clutch, it'd probably be him. Last season, he was the guy who was matching the finals and the qualifier. Them not being able to replace him is a very big problem to just the entire balance of the current KKR side. But that was the retention, and for a championship side, going into the mega auction is just a sad affair. I mean, you're only allowed to retain a very small amount of players, and that does mean you have to bid farewell to players that you wish you could keep. But it's what KKR did at the auction which is more surprising. And that started off with 23 crore pickup in his area, which shocked everyone. I mean, when a player gets released, you assume that they're lower down in the priority list. It's just surprising, and it messed up the entire balance of the team. The other high risk was once again with KKR not valuing captaincy so much, just straight up not having any captain until the auction almost ended. They waited until the accelerated round, where until players went back on, for them to finally take the punt on Ajinkya Rahane. So, high risk. Did that mean high reward? Well, no. I mean, Venkatesh Iyer in 11 matches only got to bat 7 innings, which is him not getting a bigger role, if anything a smaller role, is even more surprising. Even when he got to bat, he only scored 142 runs and an average of 20, striking at 120 with just 150. For any KKR fan, this just leaves a sour taste. In stark contrast, Ajinkya Rahane was a delight for KKR. He turned out to be Sid Mustaq Ali player of the tournament, and more significantly, he brought that form into the IPL, scoring almost 400 runs, averaging close to 40, striking around 150. Shows that he was consistent. Now, those are just a select few problems. There's so much more that has gone completely under the radar. And one of the most surprising things that no one's talked about is the opening wicketkeeper batsmen. With Gurbaz and De Kock, they had 2 explosive wicket-keeping openers. Both of them have proved in the past that they're easily IPL standard. Gurbaz is obviously promising and up and coming. De Kock has won IPLs in the past. For whatever reason, this year that energy was missing from the game completely, and ended up being a case of where the pressure to accelerate in the power play fell completely onto the Narayan. Similarly, at the back end of things, Ramandeep Singh, who was their uncapped retention, someone who got a lot of backing from the team, just did not turn up. Just someone in general to take finishing pressure off of Rinku Singh and Andre Russell. But this year, him, Rinku, and Venkatesh Iyer have lacked the it factor. Lastly, I touched upon this, but the third pace bowler was never found. That meant Stark's departure was just not even dealt with properly. Losing players is okay, not replacing them is not okay. Spencer Johnson was given chances, but he lacked the experience, and they need to get some experience back in the team. You can see with Dre Russ, his bowling IQ, it just helps a lot. But it's not all doom and gloom. After all, they did win half of their completed matches, almost. So, what are the bright spots? Well, Ajinkya Rahane, the batsman, has been well worth the price tag. He's been an anchor in the middle, and he's got a 150. You just feel like he needed support from the rest of the lineup to do something. There's one guy who gave that support, and that's the youngster Ankush Raghuvanshi. He was hyped last season, surprisingly went for cheap in this auction, and yet he feels like a refreshed, composed batsman this time around. He's consistently getting runs and even provides a lot of attacking intent whenever they need it. His season's the only other one full of positives as far as batting goes. On the bowling end, they've been good as always with spin. I don't talk about Varun Chakravarti in particular. I know he's regarded as one of the best spinners in the world right now, he should be. But in the IPL, with this team not winning as much, I feel like he loses a lot of credit that he deserves. Just give him his flowers, man. Come on. And lastly, Harshit Rana and Vaibhav Arora with the bowling attack, they picked up 31 wickets combined. They do have a tendency to go for runs, and I will say that they can have loose games here and there, but they're here to stay and KKR has backed them. They're now reaping the rewards. These players will only grow on from here on out. Some bold predictions going into the next season, and I think one player they need to add on their watch list is Naveen Ulhaq. He's an experienced T20 cricketer who's played franchise cricket across the globe, and that means he can deal with pressure situations all the time. He can bowl at death, he can get wickets up front, he can do whatever he wants. He can be a Swiss Army knife. That is a big factor because he won't have the mental load that a new player like Spencer Johnson would have. If you want to go for a new player again, then I think Blessing Rajawani deserves a gamble. The Zimbabwean pacer has got impressive height and his nagging lengths, which he consistently hits and has trouble in the batsman every time I've seen us face him. I don't know what it would take, but I need that man to get a contract any point now. As a big release, I think Venkatesh Iyer just should be released. I think they should buy him back, and I think they will. They might not even release him. They would love to commit and back their decisions. But just the act of buying him back could save them 10 crores. Now, some promise. It's tough to see. I mean, this is the quickest a team has changed from championship status to mediocrity, and it's very troubling. Leadership has gone and has not been replaced adequately in my opinion. That's one thing that's really hard to overcome. In KKR's history, it's been proven that leadership has won them tournaments and lack of leadership has lost them, and yet they don't seem to prioritize it. It doesn't make any sense. And I'll need a lot of good performances from them in the future for me to be convicted that they have a good direction that they're going towards. It's also the first year of the mega auction cycle, so it's really hard to get quality players out there, but you never know. So you've got Cam Green and you've got other players who might pop up. The main question for everyone is just how does this team go from champions to wherever they are? But I think the answer to that is very simple. It's the IPL. The IPL is just funny in many ways. It's got all these amazing stories, and that's what makes it so interesting. A team that made the playoffs look like a walk in the park last season can struggle so badly the very next season. That's what it is. And I mean, it's not just KKR. This is the fourth video. If you think this is bad, go check out CSK, RR, and SRH. Things could be a lot worse. Maybe that's the lesson. Things could be a lot worse. Anyways, if you like this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Let us know down in the comments who you think will be the fifth team knocked out of the IPL, and who you think would make the top 4, and even the top 2 for that matter. Stay tuned for more IPL content, and check out our IPL mega playlist on the screen right now. And as always, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.